I'll start with a disclaimer. I am not affiliated with Creative Grids and their Stripology Extra Large Ruler, but wait till you see this. It's like magic, and I love this thing for cutting with a fabric strip. So I'm going to show you with fabric 2 how to use this thing if in fact you want to buy it for yourself. You do not have to, and you can cut your strips the same way we did in F1 with your rotary cutter and ruler. So let me show you how this works. Let me put this aside. The first thing we're going to do is get our straight edge, just like we did in the first one, the first fabric. Remember how I talked about the raggedy wonky side where they cut the fabric with scissors off of the bolt? So we want to create a totally straight line before we start then cutting our strips and creating my straight edge. Okay. So now move this. Now I've got this perfectly straight edge and I've got my fold. Now the Stripology ruler, let me grab it. Hopefully you can see this. It's got these little areas that are open where my rotary blade is going to fit in and cut to the other opening. Now that is only about 13 inches. And so I've got a fold. If you look at this, it obviously will not cut across the whole width of fabric. You are going to need to fold this again this way. So let me do that. Take my fold and I'm lining up as best I can. Yep, that lines up perfectly there. And I can see based on my grid here that those nice straight edges are lining up. My fold is now, I've got 4 layers because I folded it in half, my right sides together, and then I folded it again. And so I've got 4 layers of fabric here. But as I cut strips, again, when I open it up, it's the entire width of the fabric. So now I'm going to put my ruler over it. You see 0 here. Obviously that's the line we want to be lining up. Now we're not going to cut there because we've already created our straight edge. You know what I'm thinking? Sort of duh. I could have put this down with the raggedy edge and started on 0 and created a perfect straight edge there. Lesson learned. And if you have this ruler, skip those other steps, fold it, and start here. Anyway, you get my point. You guys are smarties. So I'm lining this up along that dark line here, which is my 0 starting point. If we look at the pattern, it says we need 6 3-inch strips. See, I'm lined up here. I'm going to go 3 inches, 1, 2, 3. There's like a teardrop opening there. And that way, my rotary blade can fit right into that crevice before, as you can see, before it's going to hit the fabric. So I'm pushing down and I'm in that teardrop opening. I'm holding it like this. And it's going to guide it right inside that line. And when I get to the other part of the opening, I'm picking it up. Now, I'm not going to pick this up. That is cut now, and I have a 3-inch strip right there. So now, skip to the 6 and lift it up, and I'll cut the rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 3-inch by width of fabric. So I'm going to cut my binding out of the exact same fabric. I'm already set up, so I'm going to cut my binding strips, which are 2.5 inches wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 binding strips. Now I'm actually going to label that because we don't subcut the binding strips. These are going to be set aside for later We won't need these for a while. But there's my binding, 5 strips, 2.5 inches by width of fabric. That's my pitch for the Stripology XL Ruler.